Hey everybody, we are getting connected and everything is getting live and up and running. And boom. Okay, live and running on all platforms. Cool. So today is Friday, August 4th, and what we're doing is basically building a coaching course piece by piece. So this is going to be an podcast episode, and it's also going to be included in our coaching course. If you're listening or watching, and you want to become a certified Better at Beach coach, we're building that program right now so you can start taking the courses. And included with this course, you also get to coach with us live and in person, which means that we get to critique and we get to help you and show you how to run a very good practice. We've had staff that has had a lot of coaching experience, and we know what goes wrong, we know what goes right, and we know how frustrating it can be to feel like you're alone as a coach. Because the problem with being a coach is not many coaches have coaches. So you're always teaching, but you're only learning from experience. Now, imagine one of your players is doing that, right? Now, your player just only learns from their losses. They don't have any guidance. They don't have anybody showing them a best way or a cheat code or a secret. That's what we want to do for coaches. So before we get into that and really start the real episode, I do want to show you guys a few things that we have available to you. If you're on Instagram, you can't really see this, but I just want you to listen. If you guys go to the free section, the free tools section of our website, there's a lot of cool stuff here. You know that we give so many things away. We give a lot of free playing advice, a lot of free coaching advice. And this page, we just keep populating it with new cool tools that we think are pretty awesome. So if you head to betteratbeach.com/free-tools, you'll be able to see all of this and explore it piece by piece. It's all there for you. The very first thing that we have on there is a free download, our free drill book, 36 of the most effective beach volleyball drills. These are drills that we use and used as pros, and I continue to use these drills with pros, but you don't have to be a professional to do them because we give you variations to be able to do them. And this is a booklet, so it's all diagrams and written explanations. If you want to go full in and you want to take a look at all of our practice plans, well, that's when you go to betteratbeach.com/practice plans, and you can see that we have over 50 right now plans that are fully recorded. They give you timestamps. They tell you what to do and when. You get to see the drill in action. So if you're a coach and you're somebody who just sits there in the parking lot and tries to etch out what you're going to do for practice, or you really have no idea what you're going to do for practice, you just pick drills from your history or from your high school or college days, let us do the work for you. Save all of that stress in the car. Save all of the time. You don't have to worry about it. If you're a beach volleyball coach, we have fully laid out beach volleyball practice plans for you. Okay. Head to betterbeach.com/practice plans. You can check those out. But back to our free tools. Okay. After our free drill book, we have this Be a Better Partner assessment. So if you think that your players are struggling with communication, with body language, or they're just not getting on the same page, or you want some personal development for them, this is a free assessment. Now, I know, because I saw all of the registrations and signups, I know a few colleges have already used this. A few universities have used our free tools. And so I want to shout out to them and thank them for using our free tools and introducing their players to it. But if you're trying to learn how to become a better partner or look for signs to help you be a better partner, check this one out. Be a better partner. Okay. If you want to become a more consistent server, this is about building your pre-serve routine. So it just takes you through an exercise that you can build a routine that you can stick with. Okay. Most people don't talk about this next one, but it is a pre-serve receive routine. So many people have a pre-serve routine, but not a pre-serve receive routine. Now, if you don't start the point in the same way every time, you're not fully preparing, fully engaged to play. So you should have a routine when you're serving and when you're in serve receive that helps you forget the last point, forget the last play, and become more consistent in terms of how you start each point. Okay? So that is there free for you. Next one is build a better offense. This one is really cool because it dives deep into asking you questions that you should be able to answer very specifically to know your offensive game and know what you're going for. Too many players just do something different every single play. They don't have set play calls. They don't know what swing they're going for. They just say, oh, well, that's open, so I'm going to hit that. As an attacker, as an offensive player, as a high-level volleyball player, you should know what you're going for. If you're playing indoor, you should know what play calls open up what swings. You should also know where your different players, if you're a setter, where your different players like to get set, right? And if you don't, then you need to upgrade your indoor game and make sure that you have play calls and you have an offensive design and you know your strengths and weaknesses. For sure, if you're talking about your beach volleyball game, you have to know what swings you're going for, what will open up in various situations, and what your strengths are. This helps guide you through that. Build a better offense. That's on betteratbeach.com/free-tools. Okay. The links are below on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. You guys just got to listen to those links or find them wherever they are. But it's easy to find. Free tools section of our website. The next freebie we have on that page is build a stronger mental game. So this one helps you find your championship your championship mental and physical flow state. Okay. Basically, we're going to take you through a series of questions that help you find the best version of yourself so that you can become stronger mentally with each point. Really nice one there. We have a rules assessment. How well do you know the rules to beach volleyball? This one kills me. I think it's funny that we get so many questions in our DMs and on our Facebook group about rules, and we explain the same ones over and over and over and over again. If you are in our Facebook group or you regularly comment on Better at Beach Volleyball or on my stuff, and you have never read the FIVB, USAV, or AVP rulebooks, if you've never sat down and read them and the case studies, which means they have special cases where the written rules don't really make sense, so they had to give examples to show you where that goes haywire and what the call should be. If you've never read both of those books, please don't comment when people ask for real questions, for rule questions. A lot of you are getting them wrong. And it's because in your town or the way that you heard the rule, please, if you're going to comment on those and answer questions for other people, at least do the whole community a favor and look at those rule books. They're free. You can get them at the FIVB website. You can get them at the maybe the AVP website, and you can definitely get them at USA Beach Volleyball. So look at those. They're fun. They're interesting if you like volleyball to be able to go through that. But if you just want to take a test and you think you're, hot stuff, then you can go to our free rule assessment where you can test your knowledge of the rules. That's at betterbeach.com/free-tools. Finally, this is what we're going to get to today when we're talking about this a little coaching advice. We have videos of skill assessments that can help you know where you're at in the game and help you set goals for yourself. So these are real, tangible, physical goals that we tell you need to be able to do this 5 out of 10 times, or you need to be able to do this 7 out of 10 times in order to get yourself to the next level. This will help you set personal goals. They're achievable. They're easy to see. They come with written tests. And you can also check out the videos to see if you can do these challenges. So right now we have 4 of them up, the level 2 test, level 3 test, level 4 test, level 5 test. They're at betteratbeach.com/free-tools. If you want to test your skills and you want to challenge, or you're kind of curious about what it might look like to consider yourself a higher level, see if you can do all of the physical challenges and all of the ball and skill challenges here. Okay. Make sure that you use that if you just need some goals for volleyball. And if you're running tryouts right now, we're getting a lot of tryout questions. Please go ahead and take a look at that. It will give you some great ideas for running tryouts. Okay. Finally, the last thing on that free tools page is 3 free workouts to help you increase your vertical jump. They come from our full program. So if today or this weekend you just want to do a science-backed vertical jump workout, go download it from our website, betterbeach.com/free-tools. You'll get them in your inbox. And that's it. That's a tour through our site. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Okay, ready to start this episode. And we are talking about setting goals and expectations for yourself and your team. All right. Hey guys, welcome officially to this part of the course. We are talking about setting goals for yourself and your team as a beach volleyball coach. You can take this to indoor too if you want. But here's the main point that we have to touch on before we do any of this. You have to have things written down, or you have to have a series of pictures or a video that defines what your expectations of yourself, your coaching staff, and your players at the highest level. NFL, NBA, NCAA, the highest level of NCAA. Players get thick binders, not just of play calls, but of their workouts, of their expectations, of what they should wear, what their team rules are, examples of being a good teammate. Your job as a high-quality coach is to start creating this binder. Start creating a philosophy, a personal philosophy. And here's a cheat code to start doing it. You need to look at yourself as if you are an employee of yourself, right? If you were to say, man, I want the best volleyball program in the world, what would I require of my coaches? I know that sounds kind of easy, right? But unless you've written it down and handed it to somebody, they don't know. So number one, you have to set expectations and a rule set for yourself. So for us as coaches, one of the big things that we started doing was, of course, everybody, all of our coaches have to wear the brand, okay? We encourage them to use our hats, but 100% you have to wear a Better at Beach shirt if you are coaching. At our camps, we get real serious about this because we have what shirt you should wear each day. We provide a uniform front, a united front, right? So that we have a professional look, a professional feel. There's more respect that comes with that. Okay? So we have it written down in our system that every coach must wear their Better at Beach apparel to every practice. Okay? What do you wear? Do you show up in something different every day? Does that vibe with your personal philosophy? Maybe your beach team, your beach club is loose. You want it to be beachy. You want it to be fun and relaxed and everybody to be friends. Okay? So now maybe you don't have a uniform. Maybe you don't have a dress code. But there needs to be something written down here. What do you wear? Look at any employee handbook or onboarding situation that you've ever been through in your life, if your jobs have provided them, if you have great bosses, and say, I'm creating a checklist for my employees that they have to do. Okay? For yourself, what are you going to wear to practice every day so that you can be consistent? Good leaders are consistent, and you need to be consistent. So you can't all of a sudden get mad that people aren't wearing your brand if you didn't write that down and you didn't show that to them. Okay? If we're just talking about clothes, it's not enough. You have to have a set of expectations and rules for when you arrive. What do you do when you show up? How early do you show up? You should be writing this down. This should become a part of your life and coaching manual. You should get yourself a big, fat 3-ring binder and just keep adding to it the way that we have. Okay? Add to it, build it. You don't want to have success and then forget about it and then wonder why. You also don't want to have expectations of your players that they don't know about, or expectations of your staff that they don't know about. You need to be able to point to somebody and say, look, you read this part, you signed it. This is the deal. You have to have those expectations. Yeah. So what behaviors are acceptable? Examples of acceptable behaviors. If you run into a high-intensity situation where somebody acts the wrong way, you put this as unacceptable behaviors. You write it down for later. You give a full story of it, full example, and you make sure that that's in your book. And you find a time to talk about it later. If you're not talking about acceptable versus unacceptable behaviors, everybody's always going to break the rules. Everybody's going to have their private expectations, and you will find unhappiness. You will find a lack of togetherness and a lack of, let's say, organization. Okay? Everybody has to know what's expected of them, and that will not happen until you start writing things down for yourself, your staff, and your players. Some things to consider creating expectations for. What should every player be able to do before they show up for tryouts? This can be pretty easy. Parents would love this. Hey, this is our minimum acceptance. This is what we absolutely have to be able to accomplish. So here are the drills. Here's how many times you have to be able to do that drill in a row. Here are the times. Here's how many push-ups you should be able to do. Here's how many squats you should be able to do in X number of minutes. Start setting some limits and guidelines and expectations for yourself and write them down. You might overshoot or undershoot in the beginning, but then you just calibrate. That's easy. Next year, next month, you say, oh my God, 15 body weight squats in 2 minutes was way too easy. Let me see if I can increase that for next season and then give that. What we have at Better at Beach is we have our level tests. So if you head to betteratbeach.com/level 2 test or level 3 test, right? You can find those at betteratbeach.com/free-tools. They should also be in your library. But these tests show our paying members and our players what's expected of them to be at a certain level. We have advanced classes. We say, hey, do you think this video, and we videoed it, but do you think this video you could do, you could accomplish, and it could be easy? If you think that that would be a challenge, you're in the wrong class. If you think that that's a joke and you can definitely show me that you can handle all of those skills at the proficiency that we ask for, then you're in a great spot. Okay, you're in the right class. This eliminates a lot of those subjective conversations that you say, you need to be better. Do you know how much that bothers players when you can't, as a coach, define exactly what they need to do? And you need to have the courage to be able to tell them. To be able to tell them what they need to do and how well they need to be able to do it. And then once they ask for that, you say, are you going to accept that challenge? Okay. What date do you think you could accomplish that by? And then you write that down and you set the alarm and you show up to practice that day that your alarm goes off in your calendar and you say, all right, Jakey, show me what you got. Level 4 test. Are you ready? And you can do it in front of the whole team. You can do it in private. It's up to you. But without writing all of this down and distributing your binder, your personal philosophy workbook, your employee handbook to your players, to your team, and to your coaches, they're going to be lost. You're going to be frustrated. So go buy a 3-ring binder and a hole punch. Okay. Start writing stuff down. Or if you're a digital person, open a Google Doc and say, Gina's coaching philosophy, or St. Francis Prep volleyball team handbook, and get these things in your hands so that you don't have to do that same thing every single year. You say, all the players that are previous, they know it. And before somebody shows up to compete for your team, you say, here's what's going to happen this year. Are you on board? Can you do that? Can you accomplish these things? And here are the expectations. Okay? And if they break those expectations, then at least you know that you've given it to them. And they agreed to it, and they read it, and you reviewed it, and you made sure that they reviewed it. You also have to spoon feed. You have to set little tests and design ways so that your players actually read it or actually watch it. Okay. For us, we have our free tools section. That's really helpful for competitive stuff, in other words, skill stuff. But we also have, for our coaches, we have a big fat handbook for our camp manual, what's expected of them, how to teach certain skills, and that's what we're doing in this course as well. So your job now is to start a document or start a 3-ring binder with a hole punch and say, this is my team handbook. And start with section 1. What do we wear? If you don't like that, how early before practice should we show up? Okay. What are some great versions of being a good teammate? Write those down. Write down what you think are bad versions of being a teammate. Write down definite no's for your coaches, and you make sure that you don't cross those lines. And write down things that you want to remember that are super effective as a coach. Could be as simple as make sure you high-five every player and address them by first name. I love that. Makes everybody feel involved. Everybody's included. You have a community. Okay. Also for your players, do your players greet each other? There should be a rule set there. I'm telling you, there should be a rule set there. Everybody on your team should say hi and greet each other. When I walk into my house, I love that my family either stands up or waves if they've got a baby on top of them, and they say, hi, Mark. And I say, hi. And we love each other, right? That is a family. If you get ignored when you walk into your home, that sucks. So I want you to start creating some philosophies, and just start by, what do you wear? How early should you show up for anything and different scenarios? And then is there a way that you would like your team to address each other? That's a good start, and we're going to start building your library from there. Okay? Set expectations for your teams. Make sure that they know them. Make sure that they see them. And make sure that you consistently review it. Don't just write this book and hide it. Make sure that you keep giving it to your people and you review it. And you say, hey, guys, before we start practice, we're going to check out chapter 3 in our handbook, and we're going to go over this. And then they start becoming better people, better teammates, not just better players. That's not what we want. We want better people, better teammates, better community members. Okay? Hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, DM me. Reach out. If you want to check out some of those free tools, go to betterbeach.com/free-tools. And that's it. From all of us at Better Beach and me, Mark Burik. See you on the sand.